I have been needing to make this video for about 6 months to tell you guys your favorite thing that you like to hear. I was wrong. This is the Sony RX1R III, and 6 months ago, I made a video after having used it for 14 days. And in that video, I went over all the pros and cons of this teeny tiny little camera. And at the end of the video, the main thing I said was,
I'm gonna just say it. I'm not gonna be buying this camera, and I have one big reason.
but after 6 months of having it on loan, thank you B&H for letting me borrow this for so long, they're making me send it back now. I'm for sure gonna buy one. I would be so bummed not to have this after now having it for 6 months. So let's talk about that today. What have I learned in the last 6 months that has changed my mind from the initial impressions that I had on this camera? And what should you know about this camera? Because I think that most people have kind of gotten this camera wrong.
Okay, if you don't follow this channel regularly, my name is David Manning. I have been a professional photographer for 18 years, and I could absolutely see myself having this on a camera strap as a second or third camera at a photo shoot. I know that it would look ridiculous to like walk around. Usually, you're walking around with like a big camera like this, you look very professional, but you could absolutely shoot this camera and you're getting A7R5 quality images out of this little guy. In fact, my wife is a country singer. She performed at House of Blues in Anaheim, and I got a photo pass and I got down into the pit for the show just with this camera. So everybody else, there was like 3 other photographers there. Of course, they had like big cameras. They're sitting there changing lenses. They're doing all this stuff, shooting away. And I am just walking back and forth with this tiny little camera going click, 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 click. And my wife's band and the other band that I was shooting for, all they posted online was my photos. The guys that were shooting the big cameras, they didn't repost any of their photos. They were just my photos shot on this teeny tiny little camera, it's crazy. Quick, like high level specs on this camera. This is essentially the guts pulled out of Sony's A7R V, which is like flagship level photo camera, jammed into this camera. They also put them into the A7CR, which is a smaller camera, the same size as the A7C II, and then the same guts again into this camera. So in this camera, I have a 61 megapixel sensor. I have 693 autofocus points, the same AI chip that the A7R5 is using to focus and track things. I have all of that in this camera. Now, I'm losing features. I don't have the same, the viewfinder on the A7R5, beautiful. Screen on the A7R5, beautiful. We don't have those here. 2.3 million dots on the EVF, 2.3 million dots on the screen, and it's not even a flip screen. There's no flip screen on this dang camera. It was one of my biggest gripes in my first video, and one of the reasons where I said like the price and the flip screen were the reason I wasn't gonna buy this camera. But the guts of an A7R5 paired with a Zeiss 35mm f2 lens, which I've actually kind of come to love. There was a few things when I first got the camera that I was like, I wish that was, I was shooting the Leica a lot at the time, and then I switched to this, and like the difference optically between these two, it's pretty significant. Like it's for sure there, you see it in the images, the optical performance of a Leica just, yeah, it beats this thing. But it's still 35mm f2, I've got a macro mode in the barrel here. Like there is a lot to love about this camera. But first, let's talk about the two main reasons why I said I wasn't gonna buy this camera. Let's talk about the price. $5,100 for this like damn near point and shoot size camera. And at the time, my like argument was essentially, if you look at the components of this camera, take the A7, let's put the A7CR on deck. I think that camera's $3,200. This lens, 35mm Zeiss f2, there's not like a direct lens that we could compare this to. Let's just call it $1,200. I think that's fair for a Zeiss 35mm f2 lens. That's $4,400 for this setup. So Sony is essentially charging us a $700 premium to get less features, but it's tiny. So we're paying for the fact that this is like a tiny little camera. Here's how I kept it all the time. Hang on. This is how I rock it all the time. Little camera clip here, and bam. This thing's on, because it's so small, it's on me all the time. So is that like $700 premium price tag for it being tiny worth it? Like that's the debate. It's not the $5,100 number, it's that $700 number. Does that make sense?
Hey, let me thank the sponsor of today's video real quick, but also tell you about two things that I absolutely must have with this camera, or really any camera that I have. This right here is the FalCam camera strap. You can put it on any camera strap that you have, but this is how I go out. So if I'm going out on any day, my camera is on me like this, or I can flip it to the back, and I just walk around like this. Camera's always on me, and then whenever I need it, I just kind of pull it up to the front. I can shoot with it on the camera strap, or I can press this one little button right here, shaboink. Now it's off the camera strap. It's quick release, it's their F38 system. I can shoot everything. I can shoot down low, shoot up high, do whatever I want to do. And then whenever I'm ready, I just go right back to my camera strap. Now it's like wildly useful. I would never own a camera strap now that does not have the FalCam camera strap on it, but I would also never own a backpack without putting the FalCam camera clip on here also, because now I can go from a camera strap to my camera clip up here. Now it's on my backpack, same thing. One button, it pops out, I shoot away. It clicks into my tripod that this is on. This is a quick release tripod, their tree root tripod. Wouldn't live without that. Like, look, Ulanzi FalCam, thank you for sponsoring today's video, but also just thank you for making such dope stuff. I use their stuff more than probably any other product brand, like any other accessory brand. Ulanzi FalCam, those are the two that I use, and these two in particular. Like, this thing lives with me. This is always on my backpack, and then there's like a host of other little Ulanzi bits that I like. All right, thank you Ulanzi for sponsoring today's video. Links to these down in the description, and back to talking about the Sony RX1R Mark III, and again, why I love this little camera.
And then it's the flip screen. Like, look, it's a deal for me, because here's the actual category that I think that this camera is, and why when people are comparing it to, like, people are comparing it to the A7R V. You can't compare this camera to the A7R V. They're in different categories. The category that I see this camera in is your full frame, everyday carry style camera that's getting you like high level imagery. And if you look at that category, kind of the only main players that are in that category are the RX1R Mark III, the Leica Q3, the Leica Q3 IV, and the X100, not in that category because it's not even full frame. Like, the jump in image quality between these two, massive, obviously. So let's just put the Fuji GFX 100 RF right here. And if you said like those are the four cameras that are in this category, well then this guy's actually the cheapest of those cameras. All of those other cameras do have flip screens, by the way. Sony, every other of your competitors in that little market, flip screens. I think I just got used to it. Like, it was so good to have this camera with me so often that I think I just got used to, like, you know, you do the kind of the head crank thing to look at your image. But I did, I don't know, I got used to it. And that's what makes this category unique, is just kind of wearing my camera on a camera strap on the backpack mount. Like, this category does not compete with these cameras. Like, my full-size camera, this thing is not fun. Like, I don't want to go to dinner with my wife and like be like, oh yeah, where's your table? Sure, let's go right over here. I've done it. Like, I've definitely done it before where I bring like my big camera with me to a friend's party or something like that. And then I'm just like, oh gosh, like, I've got my big camera with me. It's so bulky that this is that like everyday camera world, just with high level imagery. So people that have gotten into the X100, this is kind of like how I got over here actually, is I started with this X100. This got very popular to have this like small camera, cool punchy flash. We'll talk about that in a second. Have this cool small camera, but the more I shot it, like, I had this thing with me all the time. I got these amazing images of my daily life that I otherwise would not have gotten because I didn't want to carry this with me. So I carried this with me. But then the more I shot this, I went, oh, I wonder what it would be like to have a really high-end camera, like have this quality, but in this size, and that's what gets you into this category. And when you look at this category, I actually think this is the best choice. This beats my Q3 and my Q3 IV III, and it would beat a Fuji GFX 100 RF in a lot of ways. One, this is the smallest of the lot. This is the cheapest of the lot. It also has the very best autofocus of those four. These things, the autofocus, dog, poopies. I was gonna say it, but I don't want to get demonetized. The focus on these, like, it does autofocus well, but it's so slow. The menu systems, like the tracking, very, very slow. Amazing image quality. The lenses are incredible. Sensors are incredible. Just very slow to use. Like shooting my kids with these, not great. The Sony is like in the moment, something's happening. I go pop, 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 pop. I barely even have to frame the dang shot. If I see my kid, I can kind of hold it down there. I go bamf, and I know I'm going to lock onto the eyeball and it is going to be a perfectly in focus shot. Like that's what Sony gives me. Whose is not for? It's not for, like, you gotta like 35mm, you gotta like 50mm. If you like those two focal lengths, money for you. The battery life kind of sucks, like really bad battery life. You're gonna have to buy a few more batteries. Anytime I go out, I've got one in the camera, two in my bag. And then I think that you should buy this flash. If you buy this camera, there is no built-in flash, but this Godox IT30 Pro S, which S is for Sony, which means that with this flash system, I have TTL on my camera. Look at that. TTL Sony on my camera. So I can just dial in my ISO to like 200, put my shutter speed at 160, set the white balance to flash, and then run around a party and just pop, 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 pop. Perfectly exposed, that kind of like fun, punchy look that is now popular again. I love this camera. Yeah, 6 months, man. I'm buying one. The real question is, should I sell the Leica so that I can buy the Sony and then I would still be able to put like $2,000 in my pocket?